Welcome everyone to Child 210 Child Development for BYU Idaho. This is going to be a great semester. It's a little bit shorter than I'm used to. This is the first time we've offered it during summer term, but it will be a great 7 to 8 weeks ahead of us. Busy weeks, but it will be great. So this course in general covers child development from pregnancy through adolescence. It's an overview, so BYU Idaho does offer courses in early childhood development, middle childhood, adolescent years, so that you get more in depth with each age range. But in general, this class is just an overview of theories as well as the development in each stage. This video lecture will hopefully accomplish three things. You'll learn a little bit more about me, your instructor, about my family, and also most of it will be spent focusing on the course. And I'll be showing you I Learned 3, how to navigate through some things, where the assignments are, some helpful hints along the way, and go through that process. So first about me. My name is Casey Wilcox. I live about an hour south of Houston, Texas. With my family. We moved here just over 3 years ago, and for my husband's job. I joined the church when I was 18 in Wisconsin, where I grew up. I was baptized 2 days before I graduated from high school. My friend in high school was a member and introduced the church to me. As far as education goes, I graduated from BYU in Provo with my undergraduate degree in recreation, and then I completed my master's degree at the University of Southern Mississippi in family and child development. With work, I spent many years working at a YMCA camp in Wisconsin, and I was a program director over the day camp that we had. Also during college and shortly after, I worked at a treatment center for children between the ages of 8 and 13. This treatment center mainly focused on behavioral issues. Often it was kids with reactive attachment disorder that came from what we would classify as a broken home. And so they lived there for up to a year and received therapy and counseling through that. And so I enjoyed working there. It was hard to leave when we moved to Texas. Here's some pictures of me doing a couple things I love. This first one was this one up here was a ropes course when I worked at camp. And what's odd about that is back then I could be up there all day long, and now I'm terrified of them. I don't know if it's something with being a mom now, being a parent, that's changed it, or just getting older. I don't know. This bottom was my husband and I went to Spain last year. He had a work trip, and it's also where he served his mission. So he got to go show me his area, Barcelona, and it was great. It was a wonderful trip away from our kid. About my family, my husband and I, we've been married 5.5 years. We met on a blind date. We were students at BYU and got set up through a mutual friend. And we got married in the Manti Temple several months later. And so we have 2 children. Ashton is our oldest. This little girl here, she's turning 3 in September. And then this little boy down here is Tanner. He's 6 months old. He was born in January. They keep me busy, so I stay home with them. And as I said, my husband works as a chemical engineer here at a company in town. So they keep us busy. We're constantly doing something with our kids, which is great. But let's get to the real focus of this lecture. So this is about the course. This is all about child development. This video lecture is just an overview of what each unit will look like, what the assignments look like, my expectations for the course, and then I will also do a lecture for each unit and go more in depth with that material and helpful hints and the assignments and some of the questions that students typically have regarding that age range. So again, this is just an overview, and we'll get more into specifics with the following units. So as I mentioned, the course is organized into units. During the summer term, these units last 1 week. So Sunday to Saturday. And I say Sunday, there's nothing that will be required on Sundays. If you choose not to do homework and do studies on Sunday, I support that. I have a firm testimony in that. But just be aware that the material is open on Sunday. So you have 7 days to complete it. All due dates will be Saturdays at midnight, Mountain Standard Time. Keep in mind, iLearn automatically takes whatever time zone you're in and adjusts that due date. So your due date may say Sunday morning at 1:59 a.m. Based on if you live in the Eastern time zone. So keep that in mind, but just remember midnight Mountain Standard Time and then adjust depending on where you live. We'll go through the course schedule for due dates when we get into iLearn, but there is a schedule that has the due dates as well as I will send weekly reminders out, and the assignments give you the due date as well. The course assignments, each unit is the exact same in what's expected of you, which hopefully keeps it easy. So the reading quizzes, each unit you'll be required to read a certain number of chapters in the textbook. And then there's a quiz for each chapter. Typically there's 3 chapters for each unit. These quizzes are worth 10 points. You can take them up to 3 times and it will take the highest of the 3 attempts. So if you do the first time you get a 7 and then an 8 and then a 9, the grade book automatically takes the 9 and puts it in for you. If you have questions about or a concern about a question on the quiz, let me know. Almost every semester there's 1 or 2 questions that are miskeyed, and so if you're worried about it or you think it's not the right answer, just send me an email and we can look it up and fix the score from there. The next part is the Dear Abby letters. These are similar to the newspaper Dear Abby's that you've heard of. So they're letters that are in a document, and I'll show you on iLearn, and you respond to the letters, to the concerns by parents with the information from the course that you've learned in that unit. The reflective journal are more specific questions that connect videos and outside resources to the text material and have you answer them. The collaborative quest is also a discussion board. Those 2 terms are synonymous in this course. They are weekly discussion boards related to that unit. Your initial post is due every week on Wednesday. Then the requirement for this discussion board to receive the full 10 points is you make your initial post by Wednesday, and then you are required to respond to 2 additional students, so 2 additional responses to your peers by the Saturday deadline. This takes the place, of course, of a in-class discussion that many professors would have on the material that we as an online class cannot do. So this discussion board is the only thing we really have to interact with our peers, and that's why it's so crucial to make that initial post early in the week so that we have time to respond and to get deeper into conversation and discussion. The last one is observations and development. This one has you watch videos of children in the age range that we're learning about and apply the terminology, the theories, the concepts that we're learning about from the text and actually see it in real life. Make it come alive essentially, and to have that application opportunity. My course policies, first and foremost, is late work. I do accept late work, but keep in mind that 10% is deducted each day up to 5 days late. So if something is due Saturday, if you give it to me on Monday, it's 20% deducted. Tuesday 30, Wednesday 40%, Thursday is 50%, and that is the last day I will accept late work. If you turn it in Friday, it's a 0 in the grade book. So please stay on top of your assignments, get the work in on time. Summer term is it's gonna go faster. It's a fast-paced course with that, and there's a lot to do every week. So you need to stay on top of it. If you get behind in one unit, it's just gonna have a domino effect on the next units. Related to that, I do have a forgiveness policy. I understand life is crazy. A baby's born, your sister gets married, you are going on a long trip for family reunion, something comes up, or you're sick, or it's been a stressful week at work. I offer a one-time extension. So on one unit, you can use an extension that will give you an extra 5 days. This extension cannot be used on the final exam, and it also is not applicable to the discussion board because the discussion board is so important to keep your peers communicating with you. So, but it does apply to all the other assignments, and you have up to 5 days with no penalty to your grade. Next, for grading, it is the policy of BYU Idaho that I complete all the grades within 7 days. So everything is due on Saturday. By the following Saturday, your grades will be up on iLearn for you to review. I do provide feedback. Typically, I do it on 2 of the assignments. I'm not able to give feedback on all the assignments for all 45 students. And so I choose 2 assignments to give feedback on, and the others I check for completion. And if you lose points, I'll typically explain why, but otherwise if it's a full point assignment, if you have full points, I'll just give you the full points. If you have a question about it, as always, you can let me know. Proofreading. This is a college course. I expect college writing skills. If you have a problem with that, if you're concerned about your writing, come talk to me. Otherwise, you can reach out to the resources at BYU Idaho and the Writing Center. More than 3 errors in an assignment, and I will start deducting points. Now, I'm not super into grammar, so I'm not going to make sure the commas are in the right place, or the semicolons, or the hyphens. That I could care less about. I just you need to make sure I can read it and understand what you're writing. If I open your document and there's the red squiggly lines because you didn't spell check it, I'm going to start knocking off points. Don't be lazy in your assignments. I expect to be able to understand them. With that, real quick, so grading policies, and right there is a great opportunity of where I misspelled something. So even I make mistakes, and that's why I allow a few mistakes, but more than 3 or 4, a handful, and we're in trouble. So the Dear Abby letters, it's 50 points. I look to make sure that you fully answered the question, that you included the terms from the text, not just your opinion. If you use a quote from the textbook in any of your assignments, I expect to see a citation. Do not plagiarize. I will not accept it. The reflective journals, essentially every question is 1 point for the most part. I'll explain in each unit if it's any different. So if you don't answer one of the questions or it's wrong, it's -1 point. These are also worth 50 points. The observations and development are worth 25 points. And then the discussion board is worth 10. If you're late on your initial post, I subtract 2 points. If you fail to make your additional responses to your peers, that's half. So -5 points, 5 out of 10. If your posts are not substantial, meaning if you just write one sentence, hey, that's a great idea, I really enjoyed reading your post, and there's nothing more to encourage discussion, -3 points. So there's the guidelines for what I use to grade. All right, some helpful hints. Do not procrastinate. That's even more important during summer term. Typically, students struggle the first unit to realize how much work there is, so do not procrastinate. Get started right away. Start looking over the assignments now so you understand them. Read all the instructions. Make sure that you understand them. Shoot me an email if you don't. On the Dear Abby letters, there is a minimum word requirement set at 2,200 words. If you do not meet that, you will lose points. I'm saying this now, and I will hold you accountable all term for all the units. You need to meet that minimum word requirement set at 2,200 words. It's in the directions as well. How to complete assignments efficiently. Let me skip that and we'll go on next. So ask questions, text me, email me, call me. I'll be honest, I typically will respond to email faster or text than a phone call, just because if my kids are awake, I don't answer my phone very often because they'll be screaming in the background. So typically email is fastest. If it's a really urgent thing, then send me a text. So ask questions. I don't mind that. You need to be actively participating in the discussion boards. That's where you're going to get the most out of this course. And I do host office hours every Tuesday of the semester in Adobe Connect, so I can share my screen, we can have our webcams on, or you can just type in the chat box. And these will be, as I said, Tuesdays from 7:30 to 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. If those hours don't work for you, then we can arrange another time to discuss anything. And these are not mandatory. These are only if you have questions, come and ask. I can help you with some things. But it will be every Tuesday during the semester. I will not hold them the first Tuesday, July 26th, just because in past semesters, typically students don't have questions on the second day. But if there's a time that you need to meet that week, we can arrange that. All right, so I'm going to stop here and explain how we're going to go into iLearn and look at what the course looks like, where things are, all sorts of that. So this is the main page for the summer term. Announcements will be displayed here. These include the lecture, so each unit announcements, as well as reminders, you know, anything in the news that I think connects the material, anything that I will announce. Almost always, actually I should say always, these announcements are also emailed to you. So you don't need to make sure that you're you should check your email every day, and you'll see announcements in your email as well as here. So don't worry about checking, being super careful about checking this. If you go into content, this is where each unit is in this left toolbar. So first off, you'll see the syllabus, the schedule, all the support resources. Let's pull up the schedule really quick. Here it will give you the due dates. So in the introduction week is the first week of the unit, and these assignments are due on July 30th, Saturday, July 30th at midnight Mountain Standard Time, which we discussed. Then Unit 2 is these 3 reading checks and the assignments and the due date. And it goes all the way through Unit 5 as well as the final exam and the final course evaluation and the due date. So this is a great thing if you want to print it off and have it at your disposal. Let me go back to the content page. So the first week of the semester will be introduction. So the only 2 assignments are to complete the reading check, which is 10 points, and the pretest. The pretest is not graded, it's just a completion score. So please take it. And then once we begin a unit, let me go through a unit with you and sort of explain how the assignments work, how they correlate, so you can understand how to best use your time. So Unit 1, during week 2, will cover chapters 2, 3, and 4. Unfortunately, this semester starts off sort of slow with probably what I think is the boring aspect of child development, but it's crucial. You need to understand the theoretical foundations to move on in development. So Chapter 2 is about the theories, the assignments relate the theories, but I promise you it gets more interesting as the semester goes on. So you'll be reading these chapters and completing the assignments. So what you'll do is you'll notice when you come to Chapter 2, and it's the same for the other chapters, you click on each of these headings. Let me go back. And you work your way through it. So here it gives you an overview of what you'll be doing, what journal questions relate, things like that. And then there's a fact or fiction. Again, this is not graded. It's a completion. Just take it, and it helps me see what you already know. Then you'll go into this first area, and it will use the Unit 1 reflective journal that you downloaded. Remember, you continue journal entries for all of Unit 1 with the same document. Read pages such and such, and then check the box to complete this activity. And it's right there where it says task. Okay, so then you're going to read those pages and move on. So here we are, the next one. Use the reflective journal to answer. So here's the best way to do the course. You're going to read these pages, and you'll see these journal entry numbers. These journal numbers correlate directly with the reflective journal assignment that every unit has. So my suggestion to use your time the best, what not to do is to read all 3 chapters from first page to last, and then start going through all of these steps and answer the reflective journal and the Dear Abby letters and observations development. My suggestion would be to go through these pages. Go one by one, follow directions, and then answer these specific questions. Sometimes, as you see here, these journal questions relate to a video that you watch. And so you'll watch this video and then answer the question. So with that, I would have the Unit 1 reflective journal downloaded on my computer in the Word document right on my computer as I watch these so I can complete the question. You'll notice this is the same for all of these. So you click on the next one. You're watching this video, reading these pages, and that will give you the information to answer this question to the best of your ability. This is the same way with all the chapters and all the units. At the very end of each chapter will be the reading check. So here under Unit 1 activities is where you'll find the reflective journal instructions, which will have the journal entry for you, or the journal file for you to download. And as I said, these questions correlate directly with those stages, those windows that we were opening, the links to each section of Chapter 2. And it goes all the way down. So this is what the reflective journal question looks like for this unit. The other assignments, the Dear Abby instructions are right here. So you'll download the Word document and you can complete the answers right in there. And here again is the minimum word count. And then you upload it and submit it. The observations and development is the same way. The collaborative quest discussion is here with directions, and as well as, yeah, so all the assignments are right here. And that is the best way to complete each unit. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to the presentation. So each unit, I will post a video lecture that goes more into detail with the assignment. So just before this, I sort of explained what each assignment was, show you the directions, the files, what they look like. But with the unit video lectures, I'll actually go into the questions. Almost every semester, the same questions cause the students trouble, and so I can explain those, give you some hints, what helped students in the past, as well as I connect the course material to different areas and aspects of life. And so this helps make the course material come alive more for the students. I will be checking in on the discussion board regularly and making responses and posts to the students, to you. So please, if I ask further questions, follow up with that and let me know what you think. And then once again, I do host the weekly office hours. So those are the different ways that I connect with you aside from email and contacting me. Along with every video lecture, I also have a gospel application. We're privileged to have Brigham Young University and the ability we have to bring the gospel into our courses. And with child development, it is extremely applicable with our focus on the family. And so I'm going to show this video. Let me get the sound working.
I am a child of God, and He has sent me here, has given me an earthly home with parents kind and dear. Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help Teach me all that I must do to live with him someday.
I am a child of God,
And he has sent me here,
has given me
and earthly home with parents kind and dear.
lead me,
Guide me, walk beside me,
help me find the way.
teach me all that I must do.
To live with him someday.
I am a child of God, and so many ways.
Help me to understand his words.
Before it grows too late, lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live.
Someday
I am a child of
I am a child of
God.
God.
I am a child of God.
Okay, so as we begin this semester, or this term, I would encourage you, the course is called Child Development, so we're studying the development of children through, as I said earlier, infancy to adolescence. But as far as a gospel relation, that we are all children of our Heavenly Father, and that we are developing in His eyes, spiritually, hopefully growing closer to Him, and that even though in this course we'll discuss the emotional, mental, psychosocial, biological development that each child goes through, I would encourage you to consider how you are developing as a child of God. Are you growing closer to the Savior? Are you becoming more like Him? And in what ways can you improve in that aspect, in those ways? Lastly, here is my contact information. So my email address, as I've said, is probably the easiest way, but please feel free to call me or text me. If you do text me, at least say who you are so I don't know it's some random number. And just reach out to me. As mentioned earlier, please ask questions early. Don't wait until the due date at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night to send me an email because I'm not going to answer it in time. So reach out early, and I'm more than happy to help you out. So that is the overview of the course. Again, for the first week, just get used to iLearn, see where all the assignments are, understand them, take the pretest and the first chapter reading check. And that is it. Good luck, everyone.